Hello, everyone. Thanks for landing here on Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro, and I thank you for joining me. We have a lot to talk about today. First of all, I want to give a shout out and prayers to John Fetterman. He had a situation today. I understand where he passed out. Uh, So prayers for him. I hope that he is doing okay. How are you, Francine? Good to see you. Hi, Mama. Good to have you. And my darling friend, Angela Ricca. Good to have you. So, yeah, prayers for John Fetterman. John Catsimatidis reached out today and told me that he was supposed to be on his show. I was not able to listen in to see if he was there. I don't think he was, because apparently this happened around 2 p.m. When the incident occurred. So hopefully he's okay. And the reason that I'm so focused on Fetterman is because we're going to talk a little bit about who's been more radicalized, the right or the left. And Fetterman had some things to say about that in his book. My friend who is a nurse said it was serious. What happened to him? It was something to do with the heart, like an AFib episode. So I understand. I heard that he's okay, but I don't think he was good enough. That he's up and about enough to do interviews, but I don't know. So here's the one thing I do know: prayers will help. So we should all pray. Hello, Maisie. Good to have you. And hello, Kevin. How are you today? And Colleen, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. It's a Thursday. Okay. I'm a little pissed. I'm just looking. I bought this on Amazon. I usually don't, but I left mine in New York. And so I bought this on Amazon and I got it today and I opened it up and I didn't even really look at it. And it looks like it's beat to crap. And it had like a secondary sticker on it. And I'm really kind of upset because I opened it up and put it on my lips. And now I don't know if somebody else put it on their lips. I'm really kind of distracted by that whole situation. Has that ever happened to you? That you ordered something. I was talking, I was doing whatever I was doing. I was like, oh, good. I got it in time for tonight's show. And yeah, I'm not a happy camper. So I wiped it off and prayed. So I don't know. I think it's an AFib issue. Hi, Lucille. Yeah, I think so too. Hi, Miriam. How are you? Welcome. Nice to have you. Your first time to the show. Yeah, we're going to talk about, we have some issues to talk about. He said, if you think I was ugly before, you should see me now. He's in good spirits. Okay, good. All right. That's good. Okay. I don't know. All right. Well, bye, Miriam. Okay. Goodbye. Okay. Goodbye. All right. Goodbye. Well, nice to have you for the moment that you were here. And hello, Fernando Garza. And bye, Fernando Garza. I guess that people are just popping in and out. But that's fine. Why not? Yeah. Oh, so it seems like I got it. So we're being stalked. This must be from the left. Well, that's great. Thanks for helping the algorithm. I appreciate it. That's why I don't buy things from Amazon or Temu. Definitely not Temu. I never buy from Temu. So, well, I think some people cares evolve. But thanks for coming in. No, I am not leaving. I was saying bye to Marion. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Fernando. Well, thanks for staying. And I guess, thanks for adding to the conversation. So, at any rate, okay. Kevin is saying hi. Oh, I've never had the chat move so quick. This is fun. I hope the Dems aren't taking him out for his accurate assessment of the left. Well, that seems like what's going on. So let's before we get going, I wanted to play. Yeah, I am going to send it back. I'm definitely going to send it back, and I'm with a note that it was on my lips, so that they don't sell it to anybody else. So Eva, So tell me, what is the problem? Tell me what your issue is. I mean, it's obvious that you wanted to come on here and be heard, and I'm happy to give you a platform to say blah, blah, blah. So tell me what it is that is got you all worked up tonight. Stalking means you're hitting a nerve. I like that, right? Eval, why are you being so offensive? Yeah, well, he's not being offensive. I don't get offended. Listen, I believe in free speech, and everybody's allowed to say whatever is on their mind here. That's what this is all about. We bring both sides, my side as well, and we're all allowed to have opinions. So, at any rate, don't worry. Eval, Fernando, thank you, but I don't care. Eval can say anything he or she wants. I don't know if it's male or female. So we'll see. But I wanted to just show you something today. I saw that the spin machine for the left was working overtime on the Epstein files, and very funnily, I'm going to use the word funnily, even though I don't think it's a word. Interestingly, what was being posted on X over and over again, from Swalwell to Pritzker to a bunch of others, was this email between Epstein and somebody else, where Epstein, the pedophile Epstein, states that he's known a lot of bad people, I think was the word he used. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me and I didn't clip it. But out of all of them, Donald Trump was the worst. And so the left is holding that up and going, even Epstein thought Donald Trump was not a good guy. That's what it is. I've known a lot of bad guys, and Donald Trump is the worst. So the left is using Epstein as a judge of character and agreeing with him. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I wouldn't. If Epstein didn't like me, I'd be happy about it. So I think their spin machine is kind of messed up, if that's what they think is, smart to post. So let's see. Tim Johns, what is radical about caring about your fellow countrymen humans? I don't know what you mean by that. Nobody said that was radical. So who said that was radical? Okay. Nick De Benedetto. I don't know who you're talking to. If you're talking about me, well, I'm anything but delusional. So anyway, here's what happened last night when Representative Tim Burchett tried to force a vote to get the Epstein files released.
Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC unanimous consent of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense, and and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it for 4 years, and they obviously if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it, and now they're all, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. So this is politics. It has nothing to do with what's doing what's right. I mean, it's Washington, D.C. to a T. And again, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're probably not. Thank y'all for sending me here.
So he tried to get the Epstein files released last night, and the Democrats voted against it. I don't understand. I mean, look, they could have released those files anytime under Biden, right? Remember, Trump was the guy that sent Epstein away. It was under him in 2019 that Epstein was arrested on federal charges. So if there was, why didn't no Biden release those files? I wonder. If they don't see that their spin machine is broken, and that people are noticing now their spin machine and that it's off the rails, I'd be worried. I'd really be worried. Go Eval. I don't know what else to say. Okay, Fernando. Excellent. So, any rate, so we were talking about who's been more radicalized, and so I'm going to play this clip for you. this is an interesting clip. It is a study by a left-leaning institute or think tank about political radicalization and violence. Watch.
Just before 7 a.m. Wednesday, a gunman opened fire at an ICE detention facility in Dallas. FBI Director Kash Patel releasing initial evidence pointing to a potential political motive by the shooter. Unspent shell casings engraved with the phrase anti-ICE.
This is just the most recent example of this type of attack.
It comes as the Center for Strategic and International Studies prepares to release an analysis where they found for the first time in more than 30 years, political violence by the far left has surpassed attacks by the far right. We spoke with one of the authors, Dan Byman.
The agenda of President Trump has caused tremendous outrage among many people on the extreme left.
Other examples of recent left-wing violence include the assassination of political activist Charlie Kirk, the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, the two attempted assassinations of President Donald Trump, first in Butler, Pennsylvania, then again at his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida, and the shooting of a Texas police officer at an ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas.
His policies regarding immigration and the LGBTQ community, among others, are important issues for this community.
While the violence from the right has decreased dramatically, it hasn't disappeared. In June, an alleged assassin killed Minnesota state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband.
Political violence has gotten out of control in this country. If you want to stop political violence, stop attacking our law enforcement as the Gestapo. If you want to stop political violence, stop telling your supporters that everybody who disagrees with you is a Nazi. If you want to stop political violence, look in the mirror. That's the way that we stop political violence in this country, and we've got to do it.
The recent political violence comes amid an exponential increase in threats against public officials, including local lawmakers, judges, and even members of Congress.
So I thought it was interesting that they're blaming the political violence on the left on Donald Trump. I'm not surprised. I find it interesting. And also that the man who killed the Minnesota lawmakers was a Democrat, not a Republican. You matter as much as I do. That's true. We all matter, right? And we all get to have opinions. And we all should be able to express them without political violence and without name calling and without badgering. That's what America was founded on. That's what we should be doing. But somehow we've lost that. Somewhere we've lost track. How much more is it going to take? It's getting pathetic now. I'm not quite sure what you're referencing, Nick. So could you just be more clear? What's getting pathetic? Is that the Epstein stuff or is that the political violence stuff? I'm just not sure. Yeah. What do you mean, Tim? Fernando and I have the same question. They forgot about burning Teslas. Yes, absolutely. You're spewing propaganda bullshit. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, well, I don't think so. I'm not spewing anything. I'm playing you the news clips. That's what I'm doing. And we're talking about it. So, what are you talking about? I accidentally left. Okay. I agree with Tim. Do these stupid viewers know what they have a problem with, or are they just hackers? I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, but that's okay. You know, I welcome everybody on the show, and they can say anything that they like. Let's see. Who are they saying don't want to stop political violence? Some congressmen aren't far off from being violent. You're absolutely right. We're getting to that point where, I think that we've talked about this on the show before, right? If you continue to demonize one side or another, or both, eventually there will be people who will say, hey, listen, both sides are no good. And then we'll have things like happened in New York City, right? I mean, I think that the reason that the socialists are winning is because the Democrats have spent so much time hammering conservatives that even blue dog Democrats now, like John Fetterman, like Manchin, like Sinema, are becoming targets. going to be civil war by the infantile Democrats. Yeah, you're right. I've said it for a long time. It's going to be the older people fighting the younger people, and that's unfortunate. Hi there. Sorry I'm late. Hi, Susan. Good to have you. Anytime you get here is fine by me. Okay, Sue. Let's hear what John Fetterman had to say. This is in his book, and you know that on this show we worried and wondered about John Fetterman, and the fact that he's the voice of reason for the left is very interesting. Watch.
Said, quote, "I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left." That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No. It's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms. Really, what's kind of the harshest? What's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, "Oh, blue sky. It's blue sky." And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names. Some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, "Oh, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life?" Just really, like, I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die. Literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent, in that community online.
So this is Fetterman talking about Blue Sky, which is the alternative to Twitter, where a lot of the Democrats and the very, very, very left-leaning Democrats. Let's be honest. You can't just say Democrats, and we've said that a million times. You can't say all Democrats are wrong and all Republicans are right. You can't, because there is there's a problem with the far left and the far right, and there's no middle ground. And I think that I think Kevin said that here. Too bad there's no middle ground anymore. It's either left or right or don't care. And it's true, because people are becoming anesthetized to everything. And the young people are feeling righteous, right? They're feeling empowered, and that, like we all did at that age, right? We thought we had it right. We were smarter than the generations before us, and we were going to get things right. And we were always protesting against the things that our parents were trying to teach us and believed in. And these young kids are no different. But the problem is that what we have shown them in the last 10 years is that there are no adults in the room anymore. We've shown them anger and hate, and they are adopting it. And it's easier to be angry than it is to be happy. And it's easier to be confrontational and than it is to be to have a conversation. And clearly, by Charlie Kirk, we see that conversation is not what people are after. They're after they want everybody walking in lockstep, which is really, really funny, considering the left calls the right a cult, but they don't see that they really are a cult. The Democrats started the civil war against America with their hate and violence. Yeah, but it's not just the Democrats. This is a whole, we've talked about this. This is really coming from the elitists, the global elitists, who are seeking to destroy, the socialists call it the empire. We're the empire. And so is, the whole Western civilization. That's what they're seeking to do, is to get rid of the Western civilization. I have a question. How would World War III start? That's a good question. I mean, look, World War III, if it was going to start, it's likely going to start by states that have been allies getting together against, a fascist dictator. That's usually how these world wars start. If you look in the past, right now we have President Xi of China is stepping very, very gingerly. Smart guy. He has brought China to the second largest economy in the world, with the United States number one. Now, there was a time that Russia was. So if everybody was going to get together to create a world war, the likelihood would be that it would be against Russia. Because Russia is a superpower, and Putin has proved himself to be psychotic. And, I never trust spies. I didn't trust George Bush Sr. because he was a spy, and I don't trust Putin because he's a spy. So that's how I think it would start. Let me know if you think the same. De Benedetto, if you don't like what you hear, you don't have to tune in. Listen, you know what? De Benedetto has an opinion, and I approve of him being here because it helps my algorithm. So thanks. The younger people are dehumanized from video games and social media, less human interaction, so less value of life. They said that about us too, right? With the pinball machines and the movies and television. So there's always something, right, Kyle? There's always something. Don't call Democrats, call them. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, Kevin. I can't, because I can't condone it. I can't condone people calling Republicans cultists or fascists or Nazis, and I'm not going to call Democrats names either. As I said, it's not all the Democrats. It is this. To me, the problem lies with the far left socialists, who are young people who and the white liberal women who, I swear to God, are destroying America, because everything crazy that's going on right now, you could thank a white liberal woman for it. So that's my 2 cents. Let's see here. The extremists scream the loudest. How many in Congress would be considered moderates? Fetterman is an extreme conservative Dem. Who are the moderates and how many? Well, it would be Fetterman would be considered a moderate in the Senate. There's a few others. I can't, at one point Schumer was. I mean, he was at every Republican event that New York had. But all of a sudden, the left has it's crazy. Hello, belatedly. My sympathy to all the families who suffered death by assassination. Very concerning about the violence towards the president and others. What is the problem? An extremist of some kind or a radical group unknown? People of the group. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. I think that, whenever you go too far in any direction and you stop communicating and you stop learning from each other, then we have problems. I mean, right? So if you're more likely to surround yourself with people who think exactly as you do and never, ever divert from that, that's when racism starts. That's when bigotry starts. That's how the Klan started, right? That's how, Hitler and Nazi Germany started. That's how Stalin started. When you're in an echo chamber and the only thing that you hear is your voice or, those voices that are similar to yours, right or left, I don't care which one, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. That's my opinion, Fernando. I mean, it's not gospel, but that's what I think. I'm pretty old. I've seen some things happen. I didn't see any of the world wars, but I've read enough about them in school when they taught it, and I've learned quite a bit. And that's what I would think. I mean, it's when there's a threat to the entire world. And I mean, right now, some people might say it's the Muslim migration that's a threat to the world, but that's not just one country. That's a whole different thing. And that's fundamentalist Muslim extremists that are creating problems all over Europe. We had human contact. These kids are willing to have relationships with their phone. We're not the same. You're right. We did have human contact, but far less human contact than our parents did. You see what I'm saying? Every generation progresses differently. But, look, my grandson, 20, going to be 21 years old, very different than some other young people out there in their 20s. I mean, he left his dorm. He's, because he didn't want to be surrounded by people who did nothing but smoke pot and play video games. And instead he has 2 jobs and goes to school full time. Why is that? How come some kids will go out in the street and protest and stand with signs that say gays for Palestine when they don't even understand that the Palestinian people and Hamas would kill a gay person the moment they set eyes on him, and not understand that, and their parents allow them to do it. While others go to work and learn and want to contribute to society. What's the difference between those two? I think that it's, how the parents raise you. My friend calls them awfuls, angry white female liberals. Oh yeah, they are awfuls. I mean, I forgot. I had a clip that I was going to show everybody, but I guess I'll do that tomorrow. 50s were a better time, Colleen. Yeah, well, they were a simpler time, right? There wasn't as much information being thrown at us, and that's the problem. There's so much information out there, good and bad. It just overloads your brain. Social media is a different form of human contact that is more prolific. Typing actually forces them to think before speaking. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I can tell you this, social media is addicting. There's a high, I mean, scientists are studying it, and there's like an endorphin that's set off by digital, whether it's FaceTiming or emailing or texting. It's a whole kind of thing that's going on now that we didn't have before. Relationships with machines, really crazy stuff. You taught him critical thinking and work ethic. Well, that's what I'm saying. You see, so same kids, same generation, same schools. Why is one working and the other one getting high and being fat, lazy, and stupid? It's got to be ingrained in them, I guess. Not all the time. I'm trying to figure out what that is in relation to. For once, I have to disagree with Albert. Yeah, so it's okay. Sometimes we all get to disagree. That's the fabulous thing about communication. Not everybody has to think exactly the same way. You can disagree, but still keep in the back of your mind something that somebody said that you disagreed with. Maybe later on, you'll figure you were wrong and that person was right, or that person will figure that they were wrong and you were right. Who knows? But that's the whole idea about communication, and we're losing that. Social media allows people to be tough guys at home in their PJs. Well, that's true. Tell us, why do younger generations are addicted to their tablets, and what's your option about these young children on their tablets? Well, when I was a kid, TV was in its infancy. I think we have 3 channels, and they used to lambaste mothers who would put their kids in front of the TV, and they would call it a babysitter. So I think that the most important thing for young kids is human contact, and also attention from your parents. It's important for your dog, for your relationship with your pets. It's really important for your relationship with each other, with your children, with your family, with friends. It is so important to have that human contact. And we have now put work and money, the importance so much on that, that we just give the kid the tablet, and at age 2 and 3 and the blinking lights and the colors and all of that is stimulating to the mind for the child, and you would think, oh, that's a good thing, but it creates an addiction. And I've seen it in studies where when that tablet or that computer is taken away from the child goes nuts. So I would say, don't give your kids these things. When I was a child, it was flashcards. I remember my mother before I even went to school, we would paint macaroni and we would string necklaces, and she would teach us our letters. Al, you remember that? I mean, my father on Saturdays would take us to the park, and we would like climb mountains, what we thought were mountains, but they were really like mounds for a staircase. We would pretend that we were somewhere else, but we were in Prospect Park. So, you need to stimulate your children in different ways. I read my daughter a book every single night before she went to bed. Same with my grandson. Did he learn the computer? Does he know the computer? Yes. Is he technologically savvy? Absolutely. But he never was one to sit home with the video games. He played sports. We worked hard to give him the opportunity to play sports. We started out with soccer, and he didn't care for that. And then football, and then ultimately baseball. And now he, like I said, he goes to school, he has 2 jobs. He's a manager at Best Buy. He's a DJ, and he also is an umpire for Little League. So there's Fernando, there's other ways. It doesn't have to be electronic. It needs to be human. That animals need human contact. Thinking before typing. Yeah, I mean, you would think so. Agree to disagree. I'm not sure about what you want to agree to disagree, but that's fine. I understood what you meant, Fernando. I can attest that my friend's daughter is similar to your grandson, and her parents are Dems, so it's not that. You know her. Yes, Kayla. Yes. So it's not about political party. It's about, human contact. I think it's about showing and being an example for young people. But same group of friends, so something there maybe. I think so. I think that, when your parents want to interact with you, you're better off. On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That's excellent. Excellent, Maisie. Excellent. The fact that you know that it's a problem shows us that we were raised by television. Yep, great memories. We read, and Noah, and he is still massively imaginative. Yeah, I mean, it's important. Great role models. Yeah, sports and outside activities keep kids motivated and busy, and they exhaust them so they can go to sleep, which was fantastic. We got lucky with Ty. We did not get lucky with Ty. It was a lot of people parenting him. He had 4 full-time parents. Typing requires some small level of thought. Shooting the breeze in person, you don't usually think first. See, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. I would think that, you'd be more embarrassed if you said something off color or inaccurate when you're talking to somebody. But maybe you're right. Maybe, you have to think before you speak. All right. I don't know how we did it, but once again, we're over. I want to thank Fernando and Nikki and Eval and all the people that aren't usual participants in the show. And I hope that you come back and we can all have some real critical conversations about what the bug was up your ass tonight. Maisie is another awesome mom and grandma. Yeah, she sure is. Okay, so thank you all. We're not in tomorrow or Saturday, although I'm thinking that we might have to extend the show to Saturdays because Saturday's a pretty good day. But we will be back Sunday. And if I feel like it, maybe Saturday, or if something is really happening. But really, there's nothing in the news usually on the weekend. Thank you. Have a great night. You too, Susan. Good night, Andrew. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I love you all. Bye-bye.